You have to make a decision.
It is time to get up.
Get up! This will still be a tight race.
We're not going back.
We need you to beat Donald Trump.
Let's send Kamala Harris and Tim to the White House.
You got it, man.
We're not going back. Yeah! Hey, everybody get your hands up. Hey, everybody get your hands up. Hey, everybody get your hands up. Now, say, we're not going back. We're not going back. We're not going back. We're not going back.
Donald Trump is an unserious man.
This weird obsession with crowd sizes.
Do you want to spend the next 4 years talking about crowd
We're
size?
not going back. Now,
Who's gonna tell him that the job he's currently seeking might just be one of those black jobs?
We know that Donald Trump would sell this country for $1.
Donald Trump rants about law and order as if he wasn't a convicted criminal running against a prosecutor.
This uncircumcised Philistine. Who does he think he is?
hey, everybody get your hands up. Hey, everybody get your hands up. Hey, everybody get your hands up. Now, say, we're not going back. We're not going back. We're not going back. We're not going back.
Okay, let's get to business. I accept your nomination. I promise to be a president for all Americans.
Even if we wouldn't make those same choices for ourselves, we've got a golden rule. Mind your own damn business.
Let's fight for it. Let's get out there. Let's vote for it. And together, let us write the next great chapter. Don't just sit around and complain. Do something.
Yeah!
Do something about it. Do something. If they lie about her, and they will, we've got to do something.
Everybody get your hands up. Hey, everybody get your hands up. Now, say, we're not going back. We're not going back. We're not going back. We're not going
Now listen, if you have not subscribed to a YouTube channel, do it right now. Do it today. And all you have to do is click the big red subscribe button on the YouTube channel.
It's not illegal to not listen to music. It's illegal to be naked. What's the point in thinking I have a God that create my own language? You ain't been doing the education. You don't realize I'm so frustrated. People think a lot about my motivation. It's very like being a maniac. You ain't got the answer. You ain't got the answer. I have a condition called synesthesia. I see sounds. I see them. It's racism's cousin. I see sounds. I could probably be a professional plastic surgeon. Only I would say the most influential person in footwear right now. Just talk to me like I'm a 4-year-old. The ultimate goal is to be like water. I see stuff from the future. I'm such a like a futurist. I went to art college. You ain't been doing the education. I am the #1 respectful artist of our generation. I am Shakespeare in the flesh. I'm so frustrated. racism. It's like a bouncing ball in a room with two cats, or something that's racism. Like I was a gifted artist since age 5, and like in national competitions, and went to, art school, naturally getting an honorary doctorate from the Art Institute of Chicago. So, have y'all ever seen Wreck It Ralph? It's in my code. It's in my code. I am Wreck It Ralph. It's in my code. It's in my code.
Everybody says, who does he think he is? I just told you who I thought I was. A guy.
Beta.
You are a lesbian.
Lesbian.
Don't you like that word?
Lesbian. Lesbian.
Lesbian.
Lesbian.
Don't you like that word?
Lesbian. 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 Lesbian.
You are a lesbian.
Lesbian.
Don't you like that word?
Lesbian. Lesbian.
Lesbian.
Lesbian.
Don't you like that word?
Lesbian. 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 Lesbian.
Hi, it's Fitz with slap chop 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 chop. Watch this. Hi, it's Fitz with slap chop. You're gonna be in a great mood all day. You're gonna slap in your troubles away with a slap. You slap in your troubles away with a slap chop. Hi, it's Fitz with slap chop. You're gonna be in a great mood all day. You're gonna slap in your troubles away with a slap. You slap in your troubles away with a slap chop. Look, here's a potato. One slap, you get big chunks for the stew. Two slaps, don't rise. The second hand, look at this. When you add a mushroom, the more you do it, why don't get your speech any brains? Now, you love salad, you hate making it. You know you hate making salad, you hate making it. Since we don't have any salad in your diet, why just one slap salad? A soup, coleslaw, stuff in what, 5 seconds? 4 or 5 seconds, it's done. This thing is tuna, it's boring. Stop having a boring tuna. Stop having a boring life. Add this tuna, maybe like this. Now you're gonna have a nice, exciting life. Here's a hard-boiled egg. One chunk, you add the pickle, you add the green. And what you can do, you can mix things together. You add ham, and you're gonna love this. You don't have time to make breakfast. Breakfast to go. Watch this, you're gonna love my nuts. Watch this, you're gonna love my nuts. Watch this, you're gonna watch this. You're gonna watch this. Watch this, watch this, watch this, watch this. Put my fruit, put mango. Watch this. Watch this. Watch this. Watch this. Look at this, is not beautiful ice cream. The reason you're gonna slap away every day is because it's so easy to clean. 1, 2, and pops open like that. Now these other ones you've seen in the stores, bacteria gets in the food. All the stores have this. You can't clean it. You can't open this up. It's worthless. Forget about it. Now take the slap chop, put it back together. Put the slap chop right there. Let's put the slap chop right there. Let's put the slap chop right there. Let's put the slap chop right there. The skin's at the bottom. 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 The skin comes right off. 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 Now put a tomato in there. Add your cilantro, your hot peppers right there. You can hit it like this. Hit it like this. Hit it like this. Hit it like this. Guys, we're gonna make America ski again. One slap at a time. one say again. One slap for the ties. We're good. One sir, one say again. One slap for the ties. We're good. One sir, one say again. One slap for the ties. We're guys. We're good. One sir, one slap for the slap. Lions face with slap chop. You're gonna be in a great mood all day. You're gonna slap in your troubles away with a slap in your troubles away with a slap chop. Lions face with slap chop. You're gonna be in a great mood all day. You're gonna slap in your troubles away with a slap in your troubles away with a slap chop.
Easy, you just got one hand and chop, 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 chop.
Watch this: tacos, fettuccine, linguine, martini, bikini.
All right. That's cool. I got our cold open right here.
Okay, Larry Dick, I'm here today to teach you guys another lesson from my custom-built dojo. A lesson on how to do some shit that your dumbass probably didn't know how to do at first. I'm a teacher.
I'm a teacher.
As well as a killer. So another lesson today is something a little bit different than what I usually teach, but something that's equally as important. Today I have with me the beautiful watermelon, the black man's strawberry. Now, some of you motherfuckers be cutting up the watermelon all wrong and shit and then wonder why it don't taste good. First lesson of watermelon, you cut that shit right. First thing you gotta do is get yourself something to cut it with. And today I have this.
Oh!
You didn't even know I had this shit up in there, did you? A baby sword, forged in the Far East, in the top of a mountain, by a family of Neanderthals about 100 years ago. Now, you ain't gonna be able to get nothing like this here because this is personally made for me. You might have to go to the dollar store, Walmart, or some shit like that to get some bullshit, but it's still a work to cut delicious watermelon. Now, what I like to do before I slice a delicious watermelon is get some practice in with a move I call the watermelon neck chop.
You gonna love it, Josh.
This move,
ready?
when you go up to somebody who's thirsty and they be like, hey man, I sure could use some drink and some food. And you say, well, brother, I just happen to have both right here in a delicious watermelon. And just when he think he about to get some delicious watermelon, is when you toss the watermelon up in the air about 30 feet, bust him in the motherfucking neck, and catch your delicious watermelon. He is rendered immobile, illogical, and not a factor in your life. Now let's get to slicing this watermelon. What you want to do is take your sword, your baby sword. I know it's not going to be forged in the Far East, but you want to take this. First, examine your melon. You want to caress it, reach around back.
Caress the melons.
Make sure it feel good back here.
Make sure.
Then reach around to the front. That's where the prize is.
That's where the prize is,
doing
up
right
front.
Now. If it feel good.
We're trying to make Mommy as uncomfortable as possible with this watermelon video.
Yeah, it feel good.
How does it make me uncomfortable?
At the top again, you take your baby sword.
Both ends of the melon.
You want to slice that motherfucker. 2 times. From the front and from the back.
Getting it from the front and the back.
That bitch. Do it like so. By that time, you should
I
have 2 halves.
don't like watermelon.
Put that 1 half to the side. We get back to that later. Take this half. Do the same thing. Split that bitch.
It is fun to cut. It's satisfying.
Take that one. Now you got 2 halves and a half. You take this. Look like a little triangle.
Dude, it comes out really good.
Slice that motherfucker like that. Slice that motherfucker
for all
like
the
that.
jokes aside, this man really is like an expert, like at this craft.
You think it's genetic?
Now slice it across the ribs.
I don't know.
Take your baby sword and you slice that motherfucker like that. Like so. Next thing you know, you got delicious squares.
Look at that shit.
Perfect. Take it from me. Join the dojo and learn how to cut delicious watermelon. You'll be all right.
All right.
And that's been your watermelon cutting lesson for the evening. Welcome to the stream, everybody. It is episode 102. We have very special guests with us tonight. Forrest Mommy, welcome.
What's up?
Hi, thank you for having me.
Yeah, awesome. We had a great time. We were just talking before the show started. We had a great time during the Misa spaces that we held. You were actually on the show before, like episode 30-ish, somewhere around there. So you make the second guest that we've had since we started bringing guests back on. So
what number is this one? What number?
102. 102.
Oh my God, that was so long ago.
I know. Yeah. I don't know if you remember or not, but we, the hosts, have a 2-drink minimum on the show. You are not required to participate, but if you'd like to, you can. Josh, what are you drinking?
Well, if you guys already kind of saw it going on here, drinking the king
Yeah.
of beers one more time. Actually, I got like a 24 case of these bottles again. I'm gonna be drinking it for a few more
Oh
shows.
boy, there we go. I got the Horse Soldier again. I'm gonna finish this bottle tonight. That's my goal. And mommy, what do you got?
I did pour some Tito's into my 7-Up, so
There you go.
All right.
Very alcoholic, like.
Bad
Yeah,
mommy.
I was gonna say that's some soccer mom bullshit. You put it in your fucking can. Forrest, mommy, you want to tell people about you? Like, I'm sure a lot of people in the chat, because we share a lot of the same audience, they know who you are. But for those who may not know, who are you and what do you do?
I'm Forrest, mommy. My part-time job is Twitter. So I think everyone knows me. I hate the government, and I have the life where I can fight the government locally. So I just fight the government locally. Today was great. We have a lot going on in Colorado. It sucks because the commies are taking over, but it's fun. It's fun to like go after these people because they're such terrible people. They're such losers. So I have a really good time doing that. And like, the government hates when they're exposed. So I have a really good time doing that. That's what I do now. Like when I started on Twitter, it was just, I was mad about COVID and all this, but then I started getting more involved, and now I'm like super involved. And Colorado is like, I have so many white pills and hope out here with Colorado, because once you start getting involved, you meet people, and it's a good thing. The more people you meet that are like, I want to save this place. I'm not going to let the ugly commies run me out. Like I love it here, And I know, like Josh says, he's in a blue area in Florida. And like, that all these people who are leaving Colorado who didn't fight, who weren't paying attention, are going other places where it's going to happen there too. So you got to learn to fight at some point, or got to like figure it out, right? So
yeah. No, and I highly recommend your account. I went through and I cleaned out a bunch of the accounts that we followed in the beginning because there was a lot of junk in there, but I kept yours, and I consistently see good content from that channel. So go check it out at Forrest Mommy. If you're not following her on X already, be a subscriber so she could turn her full-time job her part-time job into a full-time job. Let's make that happen.
No, I don't want to have to pay too much taxes. So,
yeah, but wouldn't you rather work for yourself?
Well, I do, and I also am taken care of. So,
Yeah, there you
double
go.
money for me.
Oh, she got her sugar daddy. That's what's going on.
Yeah, and I fight for him because he's self-employed, blue collar, takes care of me, does very well. And I'm like, I'm out fighting because they're trying to take more taxes from, they're always trying to take more taxes.
I just noticed something. If you ever wonder if Forrest Mommy's doing well, look at all them goddamn shoes behind her.
Yeah, right.
Not all expensive ones. And guess what? Since COVID, I've like barely bought any of them. But it's art.
Well,
art.
Time to get out and wear them shoes, girl.
I try. I try libertarian stuff. That's what I go.
It's such a better background. She's a guest. This is the first podcast you've done in how long? She has a way better background than you or I, Josh. We need to up our game.
Well, I like to put books because that'd be a total lie because I don't read that many books.
At least you're honest. I have a giant bookshelf in my bedroom, and I've read maybe 2 of them.
I know. I have all the It's funny when I started getting more into libertarian stuff, and when I first read Anatomy of the State, I'm like, yeah, I was like this because I lived my life. I was on my own young, and you figure out so much stuff that way. And then when you get around to the philosophy stuff, you're like, yeah, okay, I get it. And I'm just an idiot. I'm just an idiot. I can't read.
Oh my God, Kelly, what the fuck? She's being rubbed in the front and the back. She's well taken care of.
Hi, Daisy. I am. I'm not like progressive women who vote to make their lives worse for some stupid reason,
Yeah. Well, all right. We got some stuff going on in the world today. We got some top stories we're going to cover tonight. Yesterday, Maduro's plane got seized by the Biden administration. That was pretty cool. The six Israeli hostages that they found dead this weekend as well. A lot of bad news on the other side of the world. But we're also going to touch base in Florida, talk about some localism a little bit, and talk about the upcoming marijuana amendment. And coming from Colorado, I'm sure you have some good takes about that as well. So let's first go into our first story here. This is our good friend. I say he's our good friend. I don't even know this man. There we go.
The breaking news
I gotta
are
cut the
some
music.
exclusive live pictures that we're showing you right now of the seized plane belonging to Venezuelan leader Nicolas Maduro. Maduro, we should note, is not on board, but the plane was seized by officials for violating U.S. sanctions. CNN's Kylie Atwood joins me now. Kylie, this is pretty extraordinary. This does not happen, obviously, every day where U.S. authorities go in and seize the plane of a head of state. But that is essentially what's happened this morning. Can you break this down for us?
Yeah, exactly. So the plane of Nicolas Maduro, the president of Venezuela, is now in the hands of the United States. As you can see there, those images demonstrate that it has just landed in Florida. It was seized by U.S. authorities in the Dominican Republic. That is according to multiple U.S. officials who spoke with our colleague Priscilla Alvarez about this. And how this all came to fruition, Jim, is that this plane was in the Dominican Republic in recent months. We don't know exactly why, but that presented the opportunity for U.S. authorities to work with authorities in the Dominican Republic to actually make up a plan and seize the plane. And just to give folks context, this plane is effectively the Air Force One of Venezuela. This is a plane that cost about $13 million, the U.S.
Not that Air
estimates.
Force
It's
One
been used by Maduro to travel around the world to
How are you
make
going to get Air
visits.
Force One seized? How are you going to get a zip code?
Yeah, I mean, we don't have to watch the whole video. I mean, you get the gist of the story there. I have this article from The Guardian that kind of explains more about it. U.S. seizes Nicolas Maduro's jet and flies it to Florida. U.S. authorities confirmed on Monday that they had seized Maduro's jet in the Dominican Republic after determining that it was allegedly purchased in violation of U.S. sanctions. According to the Justice Department statement on their website, this was an interesting bit about the story. They were acting on an executive order that was signed into law by who? Donald Trump. So it was Executive Order 13884, basically blocks all property and interests of the government of Venezuela and broadens the definition of government of Venezuela to include anyone who has acted or purported to act on behalf of the Venezuelan government, including Maduro's regime specifically. He named them out in his thing. So I don't know if the election, when did Maduro's most recent election happen this year, right? That's the one everybody's fighting about. So this was in 2019. I don't know if he knew that the election was going to be rigged or stolen, but he named Maduro and his cohort and said, look, you give any money to these people, you can't do that. And that's why they seized the plane. That's what they say. I'm looking at this and I'm like, how the fuck can they just seize some other country's plane?
So basically what it was that it was bought through a shell company in Florida by like Maduro's regime and then was smuggled back into Venezuela through basically flying it through a bunch of Caribbean islands until they hit a friendly one to kind of shake the trail off a little bit and then boop. And then so essentially what the U.S. government did was says, oh, you procured this under violation of sanctions, so we're going to seize the jet because you acquired it by illegal and improper means.
Right. Yeah, I mean, did you look at this story at all, Force Mommy? You seen anything about it?
I followed it a little bit. But
it's just kind of crazy. Like, so we covered the story about a month ago. So it is right this year. We covered the story about a month ago when the election first happened, and we saw those same graphs, the Biden graphs, the F graph. We saw the same thing in Venezuela, and we shared that on the show. And so, like, people have been disputing this whole election this whole time, and I think it's very interesting that they seized the plane now after this happens. And it's interesting, too, to see the battle lines that are being drawn here. You've got Chile, Ecuador, Costa Rica, El Salvador, Peru, Uruguay, Brazil, Colombia, basically all of South America, including Javier Milei, Argentina, all say that the results of Maduro's election were very suspicious. And then, of course, the United States and all the Western allies are all on that side. On the other side, Honduras, Cuba, Iran, China, and Russia. So I look at that and I'm like, are there battle lines being drawn here for a possible proxy war between the East and West in our Southern Hemisphere?
Possibly. And to add fuel to the fire today, the Maduro regime actually put out an arrest warrant for Edmundo Gonzalez Urtia, who was his opponent in the elections that is being contested right now.
Yeah.
And Brazil has apparently come on board in a joint statement with Venezuela in support of the arrest warrant.
I'm so glad we have centralized governments because they are good people who do good things.
Awesome, right?
Yeah. They're involved
Awesome
in all
shit.
the most important affairs of the world. Like who should own this plane?
Destabilizing Venezuela in the first place. But.
Yeah. Yeah, there's it's kind of crazy too. It just all happens together. I was making sure there were no updates to any stories in Venezuela. And when I typed in Venezuela, the first thing came up was Venezuela gangs in Aurora, Colorado. And I was like, what the hell is going on here? And apparently,
the Hells Angels are in town, Forest Mommy?
No, and like the fact that it got national and turned into a whole social media thing, I'm glad it did because I'm all about like I love when local stuff goes national, but the local news refused to just report on what did happen, which did happen.
Right.
Like we had the cops were like covering stuff up, and the news, like who includes the guy who doxed me last year, like they're really great people. They were covering it all up, and because they covered it up and we're trying to be quiet about it, then we all blew it up, and on Twitter it got blown up. And I love what's happened with it though. That was the funniest meme where like everyone's posting who's coming to save them.
Oh yeah.
It's not as big of a deal as, I mean, it is a big deal. They brought over 40,000 immigrants up here to Colorado, which is so close to the border, right? All these NGOs brought them up here. It's all for fun. It's human trafficking for funding. That's what it comes down to, and what other destabilization they're trying to do. So
yeah,
that's
it's a sanctuary city up there, right? That's how they got them in there. Yeah.
ICE can't arrest we have ICE detention centers and stuff, but they can't deport people. They can't go out there. And like, there's a guy running against Jason Crow, who's most known for like crawling on the ground, being scared during J6.
Nice.
He used to be an ICE agent. He's talked about this a lot. And we're libertarians, so we have everyone, whatever, borders, blah, blah, blah. But I'm like, you can't just bring people, you can't human traffic people and then like get money and funding for it and all this stuff. And ICE's hand is tied. So like, it's wild. It has changed out here. I mean, there's these squeegee guys, not to be like racist, but they come over and they surround your car. And I'm like, it's not racist to be on guard when people are surrounding your car. And I guess they've been trying to get more aggressive. And I'm like, of course they are. So if it's all gang led or whatever, I think it's just desperation led too. But I'm like, they came to Colorado, like it's cold here, like it's crazy how it all happens.
Well, they went there because it's a sanctuary city, like you said. They get funding for all the people that are there. Yeah. Yeah, they get bus tickets, they get flown there. Like they are welcomed and given. From the videos I was seeing, Duke shared a video earlier. The videos that I was seeing, like a whole apartment buildings are just now, these Venezuelan gangs.
Slumlords love it because they can get on these they can get money from the government and all this stuff. So the slumlords love it. So it's a slummy place anywhere. Where it is just like more rundown anyways. There's a guy who came. The good thing about it going national is it brought more citizen journalists out, which that's what we need. We need citizen journalists, and the local news is so terrible. They're always like, ew, you guys are just right-wing accounts, blah, blah, blah. But a guy went to the actual buildings. He went in the buildings. There's a 60-minute YouTube. And like he went in there and talked to people. Of course, they're not like all like admitting everything, right? Because why would you?
Of course, why would you?
The cops went there one day and they're like, no problem here. See, blah, blah, blah. And this guy went there and like half the building, half the apartments are like boarded up. Windows are broken.
Bullet holes everywhere. Yep.
Yeah. And they talked to neighbors and everything. And the neighbors were like, I don't know if it's Venezuela or not. And that is where gang activity's always been. So it's kind of like, but it is something like.
Yeah. Yeah. It's so weird, like how things align like that. Like, I was looking up this stuff that happened with Venezuela, and then we have you on from Colorado, and then there's Venezuelans in Colorado. It's just, the universe, right?
It's happening a lot. Like they caught some of the guys who robbed the store, and it was a Hispanic ladies who owned this jewelry store, and they're like, no, we know they were Venezuelan. Like they knew the accent, and then they caught them, and so they come up, steal stuff, and then go back down, and like it's happening all over. It's happening all over. It is what it is, I guess.
I mean, it's happening here too. That's for damn sure.
Yeah, they come up to you. I mean, you have a beach there where they can just like.
No, those are Cubans, Forest Mommy. The Venezuelans fly in and just don't go home.
Yeah.
All right, so Turtle, getting back to our original story here, Turtleneck was saying the season of the jet isn't about the money, it's about making a statement. The Air Force One of Venezuela, a country with an economy so bad as a result of these sanctions. Meanwhile, the plane is only worth $16 million. I think the point he's trying to make is we did this to Venezuela, and now we're kind of, I don't know, it's like we extorted them for money and then we broke their legs anyway. Like, I guess that'd be a good analogy.
Oh yeah, we took their money from them and then we said, haha, caught you. It's like, hey, just saw off that extra half an inch. It won't hurt nobody.
Yeah, right.
We're taking all their able-bodied men, so they can't form a military down there. They're all up here. That's what I feel.
That's great. Domestic. Yeah, I was always told, ever since 9/11 that domestic terrorism was the greatest threat. Who knew it'd be imported?
What's funny is I grew up with some kids who were missionaries down in Venezuela, like in the 80s and 90s. It was just interesting. They were in the jungle, with like a tribe that can,
Yeah.
It happens. Like, so different. I would love to hear their perspective now, but I've lost touch with them. That would be
right.
Interesting.
Yeah, America's fucking up things all around the world. Another example of this is over in the Middle East. I don't know if you guys saw the 6 hostages that they found. One person that I had lined up here as a transition to this, Anthony Blinken, the current Secretary of State, he was highly involved with the Venezuela investigation. He came out saying, like, there's overwhelming evidence that Maduro lost the election. I think he probably stole it. And we can say that. We can say that about that election. We can't say it about American elections, but Venezuela.
Unless you're on the other side. Unless you're Hillary Clinton, then you can.
Yeah. Well, I'm not, so I'm fucked. Blinken was one of those people that was on the front of that battle, saying that Venezuela is in trouble and we have to step in. But he also has his fingers deep into conflicts on other sides of the world, such as the war between Israel and Palestine. About a month ago, Blinken visited Israel in what was an alleged attempt to reach some sort of ceasefire between Israel and Gaza to help rescue some hostages. Then on August 30th, the Jerusalem Post put up an article titled "Blinken Promised Israel Support for Preemptive Strike on Hezbollah." So basically saying, if Israel wants to go after Hezbollah and they want to strike first, we're behind that. We support that idea. And then the very next day is when the news broke about the hostages. So let me pull that up here.
Of 6 hostages were recovered in Gaza early Sunday, including a 23-year-old Israeli-American man, Hirsch Goldberg Poland.
We are in a difficult day. The heart of the entire nation is torn.
We've been attacked from various corners of our nation by pure terror. And the most sadistic of all is, of course, the killing, the brutal murder of 6 innocent civilians.
The military said they were all killed by Hamas shortly before Israeli forces arrived and were found in a tunnel under the city of Rafah in southern Gaza.
They are cruel and disgusting and despicable terrorists who have no problem murdering people as they did.
Later Sunday, President Biden and Secretary of State Antony Blinken spoke with the parents of Goldberg Poland. In a statement, the president said he's devastated and outraged by the killings.
I think President Biden and Vice President Harris are turning over every stone in their efforts to secure the release of the hostages and protect the lives of the hostages and achieve a ceasefire. I don't think they go a waking moment without focusing on this.
The deaths spurring protest and intensifying calls for Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu to reach a ceasefire and hostage release deal. Netanyahu said Hamas refuses to seriously negotiate.
Whoever murders hostages does not want a deal.
So that was the news that broke the day after Blinken says that he supports a preemptive strike on Hezbollah. How convenient.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I don't even, it's so hard to even think about that because you see dead Gaza babies and it's just, I don't know. It's just nuts. Lockheed Martin needed some more money, I guess, so they can do strikes.
But a lot of people, especially online and Twitter now, that you can say whatever, pretty much whatever you want. Not whatever you want, but you can get pretty damn close. I see a lot of people like criticize like the government of Israel, especially, and that's fine. But the people of Israel, like, you got to see this video. This one,
thousands of Israel.
She's going to go over the same stuff, but there's a statement by one of the family members, and I want to get y'all's reaction to it, but it got
Thousands of Israelis are hoping to pressure Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu into accepting a deal for the release of the remaining hostages held by Hamas. The protests coming one day after the discovery of the bodies of 6 hostages, including that of Israeli-American Hirsch Goldberg Polin. Today, a sea of humanity converging on Tel Aviv, the largest of many protests across Israel. And tomorrow, the country's largest trade union calling for a general strike that could shut down the country. The news of the recovery by the IDF of those 6 men and women sending shockwaves through Israel and the United States. Their remains found in a tunnel in Rafah. The parents of 23-year-old Hirsch Goldberg Polin just days ago joining a protest at the Gazan border with other hostage families using a loudspeaker to shout out to their loved ones. The Goldberg Polin family now saying they are heartbroken.
Before we get to the brother or whatever, apparently from the reading that I was doing, like the hostages were alive. Like the IDF or whoever was able to confirm that they were alive like 6 hours before they found them. Like they were that close.
ABC's Britt Clennett leads us off from Tel Aviv.
Tonight, tens of thousands of protesters packing into central Tel Aviv in Israel's
That's
biggest
lot,
protest
dude.
since the war began.
A lot of people.
To voice their anger after 6 more hostage bodies are found in Gaza, including Israeli-American Hirsch Goldberg Polin. Israeli forensics determining that Hamas shot all 6 of them at close range between Thursday and Friday morning. The protest tonight fueled by outrage at Prime Minister Netanyahu. 40-year-old Carmel Gat taken from Kibbutz Be'eri on October 7th among those 6 killed. Her cousin Gil Dickman saying Netanyahu should be held responsible for the hostage deaths.
Our Prime Minister Netanyahu decided that he wants to sacrifice her and all the other hostages to keep on fighting this war. And now we see what happens. Netanyahu, you killed them. You killed them. It might not have been you who pulled the trigger, but you placed the gun over their head.
I'll watch that video. Even just now, I was getting chills watching that video. That I think he's right, though. Yeah. I think he's spot on. It's fucking Netanyahu. Like he said, Netanyahu might not have pulled the trigger, but it's that motherfucker's fault. And it's all these people that think that they can run the world for everyone else and that they know better and all this kind of stuff.
We're just collateral damage. We're just collateral damage.
I'm not saying Israel's right. I'm not saying that Palestinians are right. I'm not saying either one of them are right. But, it's all they treat it like we're all pawns in everyone else's game. And we're just here to be cannon fodder for their ambitions to rule the world.
Blood sacrifice for blood sacrifice. I'll say it.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's what it seems like. And
yeah, well, that's what war seems like, right? Like,
that guy, I think I don't think that the people in Israel are like saying like, we got to go, after 9/11, there was like this huge, like, we got to go get the terrorists. We got to go fucking hunt them down and slaughter them all. That guy's not having that reaction. Instead of pointing the finger on the other side of the border, he's saying, nah, motherfucker, it's you. You did this. I think that's positive. I think that's good. I don't know if it's going to change anything, but I do think it's good.
Yeah.
Especially in the Middle East. I don't think will anything ever change over there? I don't know.
Probably not. Probably not.
No. All of them are none of them are actually going to fight a real war because they're all so scared that if they actually go all in, that whatever opposition that they're most scared of is going to come after them as a result. So, reality is that Israel's scared of Iran, Iran's scared of the United States, the United States is worried about the whole Middle East. You got all these different groups who are running around knowing that they got all these little proxy groups that they're, attached to who are actually giving them directions. So the whole thing over there is an entire proxy war going on. And, how many chess pawns can you move around the board before you got to sacrifice a few?
And is America funding both sides or all sides as usual? Probably.
Got to make a profit somehow.
This is fair, blah, blah, blah. They didn't say what they were protesting, like who knows, but I think they just want an end to it because they're getting bombed every day. Let me see. Here we go. Let me go back to Poggers. They are protesting that Netanyahu. Yeah, you're fine. They are protesting that Netanyahu doesn't seem to want negotiation of release of the hostages. He's been bogging down the negotiations the whole time. Yeah, I think that's probably true. Like we were saying, like I think that he views the Israeli hostages; those were just cannon fodder for whatever ambitions he has to, from the river to the sea for Israel. You know what I mean? Like he just wants to own that whole territory or have control over it or continue the status quo, whatever his ambition is. Those hostages, those 6 hostages, what is the life of 6 people when you can rule the world, right? So it just doesn't matter. Let me see. There was another one. Oh, here we go. Yeah, this is from your buddy Hog Dog. Nothing will change in the Middle East, or nothing will change until the Middle East is glass. We should let
them do it to themselves. Let them do it to themselves.
Let me have my bad libertarian opinion, but I agree.
Go ahead.
Like that's the reality. If you're going to go to war, you have to make it swift and so brutally so much brutal carnage that absolutely nobody would ever want to fuck with you again. If you're not that's what I'm saying there. If you're not going all in on like just completely fucking up whoever your opposition is, you're not really fighting a war. You're just throwing stones in a glass house and hoping that nobody else comes around fucking you up in your back door. Like,
I don't think. Yeah,
if Israel was serious, they would have nuked fucking Gaza right from the start. It would have been fucking glassed over. They would have laughed about it, danced in the streets like they did during 9/11.
And America probably would have defended it too.
Yeah, and we would exactly. Biden would have been like they were defending themselves. And then when Israel, that's the only thing. They don't want to do it because they know, all right, if we do that, Iran's going to try and nuke us, and then we got to nuke Iran, which means America's going to nuke Iran too, which is just going to create a whole fuckload of bullshit.
Yeah, I don't know that getting rid of that, glassing the country or whatever, like you say, like, okay, first off, you're not going to get everybody. And the people who are left, they're not going to change.
You drop
they're
a second
get
nuke
worse.
on them. You drop a second nuke on them.
And they'll be even more mad. That's like what's happened in the Middle East is like as more of them die. Although there's always a ton of population there. Isn't that always crazy how much population there is in this area?
Well, India's right next door. China's right next door.
Yeah,
I mean, it's not that hard.
Pakistan's like the 6th biggest country in the fucking world. Like, it's not like
there you go.
Like we don't got enough fucking Pakis running around out there right next to India.
Yeah, so I don't know, but I don't think like Forrest Mommy was saying earlier, like on one hand, I agree with what you're saying, Josh. Like these people are not going to change. What else are you going to do? But I don't think that it needs to be us that does it. Just let them do it to themselves. Fuck that.
Yeah.
Like just worry about our own shit.
Tell the Palestinians to nuke yourselves.
Listen, if we stop giving all this,
where's Hamas getting money?
That's exactly where I was going with this. Is if America pulled out foreign aid for Israel, if the other Western countries did the same, I think without America they'd probably still get enough funding to continue the war. But if they had to defend themselves, truly defend themselves, then that would be the course. You don't think it would go that way? If America suddenly came out and said we are no longer going to support Israel, we're done being involved in this war.
The toilet. In the fucking
That's what I'm
toilet.
saying. Is like Iran, Pakistan, whoever the fuck is just going to bomb the shit out of them because they're like,
yeah, why wouldn't you?
Why wouldn't you? They have magic and stuff, don't they? I'm just kidding.
Yeah, they have flying carpets. You better watch out. Yeah.
Imagine they're fucking genies.
It's all weird. And it's weird how all the people go over there and like it's just a weird thing. All that it's all weird to me.
Well, speaking of weirdos, Joe Biden, he had something to say about this shortly after. This was right as the news was breaking that the hostages were released, and this is what Biden had to say about it.
The president actually did take questions. He just landed at the White House ahead of a meeting in the Situation Room
What is that bitch?
between
She's
him
got like a
and the Vice
Snapchat
President
filter
Kamala
on her
Harris.
face.
They'll be discussing the hostage negotiation team
The amount of
in the
makeup on
Situation
that
Room
woman.
following the tragic
Holy
deaths
shit.
of those 6 hostages that were found
She might not be real, dude.
over the weekend. Let's
She might not. It's like an AI.
I'm heading to a national security meeting right now, and then going to Pittsburgh. And so checking on following up on what's happening in Israel, and then I'll be off to Pittsburgh.
Are you planning to present a final hostage deal to the both sides this week?
We're very close to that.
What makes you think that this deal will be successful in a way that the other deals were not?
Hope springs eternal.
Hope is why he thinks it's going to be different. Anyway, no, don't close it. I wanted to finish it. Piece of shit. Hold on, sorry. Hope rings eternal. That's what's going to save the day.
Checking on what's
final hostage deal to the both sides this week.
We're very close to that.
What makes you think that this deal will be successful in a way that the other deals were not?
Hope springs eternal.
Mr. President, do you think it's time for Prime Minister Netanyahu to do more on this issue? Do you think he's doing enough?
No.
Mr. President, what is your reaction to the demonstrations across Israel? What is your reaction to the demonstrations?
I'm going to get the detail when I walk in, and I'll talk to you after that.
Yeah, so anyway, Biden still has no idea what's going on. But
He said, no, fuck you, Netanyahu, do more.
Right, exactly.
Is it smart for the Israelis to all be doing this protest when the last time there was a gathering, they, got hurt and stuff? Like, I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, you're kind of skipping ahead there. Look at you. So you're referring to the October 7th attack?
Yeah, well, I'm like, if like when you're gathering groups, like I think that's why a lot of us in America we're in self-preservation mode. A lot of us would like to do a lot more, would like to be a lot more, not necessarily violent, but do more things.
Yeah.
But we know that they, like when we had like in Denver, we had a guy got shot by the news security. You know what I mean? So it's kind of, if you were so scared of like this other country bombing you, why would you all be gathering? I understand.
Do you think people don't get involved because they're afraid to be attacked? I think it's more that they're afraid to be canceled. They don't want their current life ruined.
For sure, it's more about that. Because after the crap that happened to me, people are like, well, I'd never do it. But now more people are getting involved and waking up because they're like, we have to. But, yeah, that's for sure. I mean, even during like early COVID stuff, when people were trying to like protest the mandates and stuff out here, they got so made fun of. And then a month later, the George Floyd stuff happened, and that was okay. You know what I mean? So it's like, we are very psychologically like, it's weird. I don't care anymore because I have nothing to lose. So I'm like, I'm not going to do anything crazy. But
you got a sugar daddy and a bunch of subscribers on Twitter. So, what do you need to be canceled for? You're good.
And I've already been doxxed. I've already like had all this crazy stuff happen to me. So it's like, I don't care anymore. Like,
yeah. What are they going to do?
And it helps inspire other people to try too. So that's what's good.
Yeah, so I guess the main things I wanted to talk about, the strong statement from that family member there, the Biden administration clearly unable to make a difference. Do you guys think that Trump coming in is going to be able to change anything in this ongoing thing? Do you think that Israel war ends with Trump coming in? Because from what I see, it's conservatives, Democrats, everybody really, except for like progressives and libertarians. This is probably like the only thing that we agree with them with. Like everyone else seems to be on the side of help Israel, destroy the terrorists.
Yeah. Isn't that interesting too? Because so many people were mad at Israel for their like COVID response. And then all of a sudden they're like, oh, you can't say anything bad about, and I'm like, we can say anything bad about any government. And that's what's made me mad. It's like, what? So that's why that guy's statement was really great because it was against the government. It was against not Netanyahu. It wasn't against Jews or anything like that. It was like specifically a policy thing.
Yeah. He pointed the finger at the leadership, said it's your fault.
Yeah, it is weird that like the pro-Palestine people, although a lot of them are like commies who want to disarm Americans. Like everything is so crazy. Like what happened out here in Colorado with that protest. It's like, when you start paying attention, you see it's just like it was like a commie recruitment tool for like
Right.
people, you know. But it was like, yes, you should be we should be anti-war. You know, we should look at this for more of that thing. But then they were like the same people who want to disarm me and all this. You know, it was just it's so interesting how everything happens, and the people who are leading those protests are people who are activists in other areas, and I think are paid feds and stuff. So it's just like it's crazy what happens in this world, and no one really pays attention because it's hard. It's hard to
Yeah.
pay attention.
Yeah.
This year, Albarfo says it's pretty amazing how mainstream hating Israel has become. I think it's become more acceptable now because you have a place like X where Elon just kind of lets you say whatever you want. Again, you can't say whatever you want, but you can get pretty damn close. And this is what I was referring to. Is like I think it's more acceptable now, but I think Turtleneck hit it even better. Said the Israel war is not ending regardless of who wins the election. Half of Trump's foreign policy was about fucking up ISIS and the Taliban. So on one side, yeah, I think it is more acceptable to hate not just Israel, but like the government of Israel and being able to criticize them more openly without being labeled as an anti-Semite. But at the same time, let's not kid ourselves. All of the major factions in the political arena are aligned with Israel. And I don't think that that's going to change anytime soon, which was also another reason that this stuff was all interesting to me is like, why would, typically Democrats are viewed as more socialistic, more communistic by their critics like us. They view themselves as progressives, and they look at countries like Venezuela and they say, well, it was all good until America got involved or whatever. They don't recognize the fault of the left ideology or whatever. But then the same thing with Israel-Palestine is like, the progressive left, the activist left is very much on the side of pro-Palestine. But yet here we have two examples of the Democratic establishment making these moves, which I was kind of surprised that they're making them now because we're less than 2 months away from an election. You need every single voter to be able to make the difference in this election. It's the most important election of our lifetimes, don't you know?
If it happens, who knows?
Yeah. If it happens, yeah.
Rails. Everything could go off the rails. I've been ready for ever since COVID, I've just been like, let everything go off the rails. I'm like waiting for it,
Yeah.
Or we got to keep our cool till 2028. I feel like even if she wins, if everyone just needs to not do anything stupid.
Did you say she wins in quotes? Because that's what I heard. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just interesting. It's kind of fun from our perspective, right? Because we're all like a little nuts about it.
It's fun and it's not fun at the same time because I agree with you that like ever since COVID, it's kind of like you're just kind of waiting for it to happen. Like I think Josh feels the same way. He could tell me if not. The way I feel right now is that there's no hope. We're not turning this bus around. It's fucking over. We're crashing into the wall. This motherfucker's going to burn.
Let's have fun on the way out. Let's have fun on the way out.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, like we're going to sit back and watch the show, but also like we all kind of knew this was coming. Like the libertarian perspective, I think always knew that this was the inevitability. The problem is that no one recognizes the problem. They just think, well, the problem isn't the government. It's that the wrong people are in control of the government. And so that gives me no faith or no hope that after the crash and burn, that there's going to be anything better left over.
I'm honestly more surprised that the crash and burn hasn't already happened. Like, I was expecting going into COVID, like Forrest Mommy, like she's shaking her head here because I think she gets it too.
I felt doom. I felt doom. Like
between between Jan 6th and the economy tanking and everything else that started happening with COVID and all that, I was like, this is it. Like, this is it. Like, I remember like shutting everything off, unplugging everything, putting like all electronic devices like within 100 feet of where I was, and like having a very long conversation with my wife on like what comes next.
Right.
And none of that came next, and I'm very disappointed in America for that.
Yeah, it's like too slow, and could it be a cycle and come back? I don't know, but
2020s. I wasn't in the 60s, but 2020 is already way worse. I'll put that on everything.
Oh yeah, it like ruined my life, and my life wasn't even that much affected by it, but it ruined it. But silver lining, it woke me up more, and all this, but like, I mean, just all the stupid stuff that happened then, and we saw people we knew falling for this, right? Or not even questioning, and they would yell at you for questioning, and it still happens. I'll post stuff on Nextdoor about what my local government's doing, and people are like, "Ooh," and they yell at me, and I'm like, "This is what they're actually doing," and you're yelling at me for it, like it's.
Stop telling us what we're doing.
A lot of people fell for that shit, like current presidential candidates.
Yeah, I know. That's why I love when anyone from the left like comes at me, calls me Trump or whatever, and says I'm going to vote for him. I'm like, I don't think I'll vote for him because of COVID. I bring up COVID right away.
Right. Yeah, they don't. The dodge there is always, oh well, Trump didn't do it. The local governments did it. But that's why we need to reelect Trump. Come on, get like.
I know, and then they don't pay attention to
their.
Everyone says it's local, but they're not paying attention to their local stuff as much either. On top of it, so I'm like, why would you say that and then not like I have so much fun being involved now with like the people I meet who are actual like people, not bureaucrats, not like the real people who want to fight right now, and it's. Like I said, it's white pilling. I don't think there's a political solution, but I have so much fun looking at these idiots in their eyes and telling them they suck, and like calling them out, like, and being hotter than them because they're all like fat and ugly and bumpy, like, so it's just,
that is true.
It's my purpose, even if it doesn't lead to anything. I
my
love
purpose
it.
is to be hotter than you. Quote Forrest,
it inspires people. It inspires. When I got doxxed, it made so many Colorado people find me and like join, and it's
hell yeah. Fight for hotness in politics again.
Because they're all so ugly.
They're ugly. They're so ugly.
Because they can't
and they're fat. I hate them. They're so fat.
They're all fat. They can't control themselves, so they have to control everybody else. That's the whole thing about it. Like,
that's deep.
I'm here to get fats out of politics. If that's the last thing I do, I want that on my gravestone, Tim. I wanted to get the fats out of politics.
They tell us what we can eat and stuff, and I'm like, well, maybe we should have a rule at the state capitol where you guys have to exercise and weigh a certain amount. Come on.
Yeah.
Tell them eat more red meat and walk more, fuckers.
Leighton, you're not fat. You're not that kind of fat. And you're not a progressive woman. There's something about the progressive women that are taking over. When they get in charge, they just turn into monsters.
That's how you win your election, Leighton, is you tell them that you're a trans woman. They'll believe it.
Look at these titties.
That's right, dude. That's how you do it. BMI requirements for leadership? Oh no. Well, they do say politics is Hollywood for ugly people, right? That's what the phrase are saying.
If they're trying to ruin ranching and cattle ranching and saying we can't eat beef, then I think we can say you have to be under a certain BMI. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, I mean, you could say that.
You can't be fat.
You could say that. You could have a BMI caucus in each party, and they'd just be like, we rate all of our candidates on their BMI. We don't care what their ideas are.
They try and pass out, they passed like 700, out here there was 700 bills they try to pass during legislation. I'll get some of there's only like a couple Republicans in Colorado still, and they're like hanging on for dear life, right? But I'm like, let's write a bill. I'm actually going to try and get a job as an aide down there for the next legislative session, because I just want to piss them off, like just me being there. I won't live tweet, but I'll tweet later. You know what I mean? But like,
yeah.
Why not? Screw these
people.
Do
it. Why not?
Yeah,
they all love me. It's so fun that all my they all know me now at the camp. Like everyone's like, "Oh, Forrest, mommy, I've been following you," and they're like Republican women, So I love it.
Right. Yeah. So I was gonna go into. I don't know if you guys saw, the DOJ filed charges against Hamas leaders today. That came out today. That's how that ended.
Doing right now?
I'm not going to go into that.
What are we doing right now?
We're doing it. So, speaking of like local shit, I want to kind of narrow down away from the foreign policy stuff. Does this make you better, Josh? Are you happier now?
Yeah,
we'll look at. Yeah. So I don't know if you've been following this Forest Mommy, Josh. I'm sure that you have been. Amendment 3 is coming up in Florida, which is going to be it's going to be our weed bill. It's coming once again, history of Florida for all you non-native people out there. This comes up all the fucking time, and it never passes because Florida's got this stupid rule where it has to be 60% instead of 50%. And so we always get there, and every single time it misses the mark. And I think it has to do a lot with the same kind of stuff that we're seeing now, where they're like, no, we're for legalizing pot, but not this way. We got to do it the right way. And, they always point out, oh, well, this bill is bad because it services, some big weed is what they kept saying. I keep seeing this now. Yeah, go ahead.
That's what they did in Colorado. I'm glad it got legalized. All the Republicans that left are like, ugh. So they all went to Florida. So they're all going to vote against all the Republicans that hate it.
It's going to miss 60% again.
And I hate paying taxes on it, blah, blah, blah. But yeah, they say they don't have enough money. There's so much money in that. You know what I mean? And they're like secretly doing stuff. They're like, it's for the schools. Well, it wasn't really for the schools. It was for like some infrastructure projects for some schools. Like it was.
I do.
That's kind of what Florida's saying.
The reality is that Amendment 3 gets us closer to where we want to be than we were before Amendment 3 passed. And
sorry, before you guys get too deep into it, I do want to talk about all these things, but I want to play this clip because I think it has a better chance now than it did before, just because of this right here.
Vote 2024. Former President Donald Trump says he supports Florida's Amendment 3 to legalize recreational marijuana. Mr. Trump wrote a post on the platform Truth Social this morning, stating in part, whether people like it or not, this will happen through the approval of the voters, so it should be done correctly. But he also said it is important to create laws that prohibit its use in public spaces so that we don't smell marijuana, he says, everywhere we go. Mr. Trump will vote as a
Yeah, so that's the quote there. Whether people like it or not, this is going to happen. So there's the acquiescence to the reality. I'm getting there.
Tim, you missed the most important quote. Trump is going to vote as a Floridian. That's the most important quote there.
Oh, okay, sure. Is there citizenship in Florida with Mar-a-Lago?
Yeah, he's a registered Florida voter. Yep. All these goddamn New Yorkers invading my damn state. All you Northerners, you fucking Yankees. Here we go.
God damn it.
You guys follow the ROTC guys? They're in Florida too, and they're funny. I like them.
The ROTC guys?
Yeah.
Aren't they everywhere, or is that only Florida?
They live in Florida. The Revenge of the Sis, but the same thing they say. Even though
okay. I thought you were talking about okay. Yeah, I know Royce and the other one.
Royce is from New York too.
Tim, you and me are on the same wavelength.
You thought like I was
like, I know tons of them out here too, but like.
Yeah. No, you're talking about Revenge of the Sis. Actually, they live in Polk County, and that's where I lived. They're great guys. I love their show. Royce, respond to my DM and come on the show.
Mr. Trump's opponent.
Oh, well, you tell him to get his ass over here then. I don't, Mersh, strip club DJ, he can stay where he's at. I want to talk to Royce. He's the cool
vote
one.
As a Floridian this November, meaning he will get a say in the Amendment 3 as well. Mr. Trump's opponent, Vice President Kamala Harris, became the first major party presidential nominee to advocate for marijuana legalization. Others have voiced their opinion against the amendment, like Jacksonville Sheriff T.K. Waters. He said earlier this month
the sheriff is against it.
Set against legalizing marijuana.
So what exactly does Amendment 3 say?
I'm going to end it there because they suck at doing it.
Decriminalization saves so much money. But it doesn't always bring money in too, because that was my thing in my city. If I had won my city council, we don't have recreation pot in my city. It's allowed, but we don't have it. But our city next door has it, and they don't make any money off of it either. So you have to look at it fiscally, right? But also stop jailing people for this. I mean, you guys have all sorts of drugs down there in Florida. It's like the best cocaine in the world, isn't it? So
it used to be. We got Flocka now.
Yeah. I mean, it's not crocodile. Could be crocodile.
Here's this one. I don't think that DeSantis, because it's a constitutional amendment, a referendum or whatever, I don't think that DeSantis has the ability to block it if it passes. Somebody can correct me. Right. Yeah, because it's not a legislation. It's an amendment to the Constitution.
And I'll actually even go a step further. When DeSantis got into office, he actually quashed the state lawsuit against medical marijuana that Rick Scott had started at the time. Like, he was just like, it's a waste of time. The voters passed it. This is what they want. Let's just give it to them and move along. It's not worth our time and money. So, I mean, I don't really think DeSantis is going to sit on this if the voters vote the way they did. Because back in 2016, medical marijuana passed, I think, with what, 71% of the vote,
Medical
Tim?
what?
Marijuana.
Yeah.
I've had a few drinks today. Sorry. My bad.
What was the question? I'm sorry.
Do you think that DeSantis would really try to push to ban recreational marijuana when he actually supported medical marijuana back in 2016?
I don't think it matters what he used to support. Politicians change their opinions with the wind, and they kind of just do whatever. This is what he's saying right now.
They always like money, though. They love money, right or left.
Well,
They do love money.
It's interesting the tack that he's taking on this, because so this was posted August 28th. He said Amendment 3, written by the CEO of weed company that has poured $70 million and counting into the effort so that the company gets a constitutionally protected monopoly on the market. This is bad policy and even worse, constitutional law. So he's not even trying to say you can't smoke weed. He's saying big bad corporations are coming in. Which is like,
now that I'd
not
support if he fucking broke that shit up, because he's not wrong in that sense. There is a
No, he
ton
is
of money.
wrong. He is wrong, and I can
How
prove he's wrong.
lets one company have like the market share or something? Is that what's going on?
No, here, look. So this is the ballot. This is the actual constitutional amendment. That's why I didn't want to play
Paid
the
a lot
news
to
clip.
help pass it, but they're not trying to create a
Well,
monopoly.
all right. So this constitutional amendment or whatever, this currently exists right now. Everything that you're seeing right here that's not underlined or crossed out, this is the current bill.
Constitution.
This is the constitutional amendment that they're trying to. These are the edits that they're trying to make. So here it is, Section 29, marijuana production, possession, and use. They struck the word medical. Okay, so that's the first part they did. They just got rid of the medical qualification
But that's
for
already
marijuana.
in. Isn't that already passed?
No, what I'm saying is it doesn't have to be medical.
Oh, I
so
see.
Yeah. So like this, the way it was originally written was only medical marijuana production, possession, and use were allowed. Now they got rid of the medical part and they just say marijuana production and possession. Then they go on and they add these sections here. The non-medical personal use of marijuana products and marijuana accessories by an adult as defined below in compliance with this section is not subject to any criminal or civil liability or sanctions under Florida law. This section right here, where does that say that only big marijuana can come in? Now, where I think he's trying to draw that from is the next one, where it says medical marijuana treatment centers and other entities licensed as provided below. So you have to qualify for a license in the state of Florida to be able to distribute marijuana or whatever. But that's how it is everywhere else.
Yeah.
But this isn't saying like
companies. There's plenty. It's not a monopoly out here.
I would like to point out that because this says that they have to be licensed by the state, the only Ron DeSantis would be directly responsible for big weed coming in and taking over if he was to say, well, I'm going to give licenses to this company, but not to that company.
Right.
Because he runs the state government, right? So it would be up to him. And then they go in.
Corporations is the government, basically.
And so they go down here and they add some more definitions. Personal use means the possession, purchase, and use of marijuana products or marijuana accessories by adults 21 years of age or older, and non-medical personal consumption by smoking, ingestion, or otherwise. So like it just goes and it talks about you can only have 3 ounces or whatever. My view on this whole thing, is the bill perfect? Absolutely not, because I just wouldn't want them licensing places. I wouldn't want them regulating how much you can hold and all this kind of stuff. But it's a net positive. And I don't think that there's any reason to be against this. And Ron DeSantis coming in here and saying like, oh, well, this is only for big weed. This is only about this big company or whatever. And he's coming out against it for this reason. One, kind of funny to see from a conservative, but also full of fucking shit when you actually read the bill.
Yeah, they probably just donated a lot of money to help it get passed, but it's not like specifically just to make them be the biggest company down there. They just want it to pass so they can do business down there.
And this is what yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
So there's a little background to this here that a lot of people aren't really aware on, is that what was it? There's some pack down here that Trulieve specifically dumped like $70 million into exactly what DeSantis is talking about to try and get Amendment 3 passed. And they were the big people who ran all of the petitioning campaigns and ballot access
You
for
have to
this
pay
out
for
there.
that shit. It costs
Oh yeah.
money.
Oh yeah. But I mean, this is where, once again, politics is a dirty theater game and everybody's in for the spin cycle. And what Ron is doing right now is saying, hey, Trulieve just dumped $70 million here. You see it in every state where recreational marijuana gets passed. Trulieve comes in. They're like the lowest quality, shittiest fucking like corporate McDonald's brand of marijuana out there. And
Listen, I'm buying a pack of Marlboro Greens as soon as they're available. Okay.
No,
Dude, it's
you're
like
not.
Willy
Don't lie.
Wonka. I go 2
Yeah.
miles down the road, and it is Willy Wonka marijuana world out. Like it's.
There you go.
Oh, I know. I love when I go fly out to like all my recreational states, New Jersey, Arizona, and it's just like going to Candyland. Like whatever.
They got pop,
Out
they got pills, they got pixie sticks that are tea. They have everything, tea, whatever you
I got
want.
motherfucking fucking Nerds Rope, fucking THC, like fucking like Solanapin, fucking like gummy bears. Like I love this fucking world. Like I'm living in the best timeline ever.
Except for all these
Yes.
young kids. I always laugh with young kids. I'm like, you don't even know what it was like having to call my dealer. They're always like, it was so hard to get marijuana before.
Do you know what it was like taking MDMA laced with fucking meth?
So,
Fuckers.
Does
hey,
it
do you
allow you
reckon?
to grow, by the way? Is there anything to
Oh,
grow?
okay.
No, that's the
Yeah.
downside.
This was that was one of the things that Ron DeSantis said. He
You're in
said
Florida.
Amendment
You can
3.
grow anything down there. You should be able to grow
So he says Florida's Amendment 3 is not about freedom, it's about greed. And then this is the quote that they pull, vote no on 3.com. Rivers last week admitted on X that she wrote the amendment herself and purposely decided to exclude home grow. Now, why did she do that? Probably because she thought it had a better chance of passing if they excluded it or whatever.
So then the feds could come and get you if you're growing it.
The feds can still, well, okay, this was the thing that California had to learn about, is the feds can still come after you even if you legalize it because it's still federally illegal. So it doesn't matter what the states do. They've just chosen not to go after it because Florida would be the 25th state to
In
legalize.
other states, like Nebraska, tried suing Colorado over it at one point too.
Yeah,
Come
that's so
on.
funny. Yeah, so no, you can't home grow, but I don't really think it makes too much of a difference. I don't think that if this amendment passes and it's legal recreationally, as long as you're not, I don't know, some famous weed seller, as long as you're not like some kingpin on your corner, I don't think it's really going to matter if you grow like 1 or 2 plants in your house. Just don't walk around with more than 3 ounces.
Colorado's like you can grow technically 6 or whatever, but
But
I've
this
done
is
it a
like
couple of times for fun. It's fun. You can grow it. So I was in Florida, I would be growing it all the time because you guys have a growing season. You have 2 growing seasons down there, for Christ's sake.
No
we were
comment.
perpetual growing season.
Constant.
No comment. So, I don't think that it's going to, if it passes, it's like the slippery slope for everything else, right? So it's going to be the same way with weed. First, it was only if you had debilitating conditions. Then they had medical marijuana. And now they're looking at recreational, but only 3 ounces. Next time it'll be recreational up to 20 ounces or whatever the hell they decide.
And then if that happens in your state, the Republicans go, it's because you legalized weed. That's what they say. They're like, as soon as we legalize weed in Colorado, that's where all the problems come from. I'm like, no, not technically.
I want to ask you about that.
Some truth to it, but not technically.
I want to ask you about that, but first I have to shit on the local Florida boy. Josh, do you know who this guy is?
Anthony Sabatini.
Yeah,
I don't think I've ever heard of this CD before.
I have pictures that prove
Must be
otherwise.
some loser. He probably works in the basement.
Are you running
somewhere.
against him? Is that who you're running against?
No, this guy. Do you want to? Can you give the backstory on Sabatini and why he's important? Not only for Forest Mommy, but for the other people in chat that may not know.
Oh man, me and Sabatini had a very interesting in-person interaction at the Capitol building back
He's
in.
GOP. I'm guessing. Is he GOP?
Yes.
He was a former state representative for the Republican Party out of Lake County here in Florida. When we held a rally to support constitutional carry here in Florida, he showed up because it was his rally. He kind of like organized. And
GOA did the rally. He showed up and took advantage.
Yeah. Well, half the people who showed up were LPF or like Mises Caucus Florida members. And when
Yeah,
we asked him to,
easily.
hey, come over
Yeah.
and take a picture with us, he said no because we were LP adjacent or related. And he informed me that the problem with the Republican Party, and this is verbatim his quote, the problem with the Republican Party is that the best people for liberty are not in the Republican Party. And that was why me and everybody in the LPF and all the Mises Caucus people had to leave the LP or leave MPA and come join the Republican Party because we were going to make it better for us, Mommy. We were going to make the Republican Party great
We're
again.
going to fix it. We can fix her.
We can fix her.
Yeah.
They're all fucked up. They're more fucked up than the LP, really, once you start getting to know it all. At least
That's just so. Yeah, that's led to me and Anthony over here having many a Twitter spar for no reason other than we could.
Yeah, I have. I want to make sure this is a decent quality picture. Oh, I have to download it. What the fuck is this? Copy link. That's what I
And
wanted
it's
to do.
interesting because Florida's more of a red state, so he could the GOP can kind of like give you guys a cold shoulder. About here in Colorado, since it's so blue, GOP is like begging. They're like love us, and they want us. They're like kind of coming to they're signing the Liberty Pledge and stuff like that. It's interesting when it's a different like color state, how they act.
Yeah. So you'll notice. I got to pull up the stream so I make sure you guys are seeing what I'm seeing. Yeah. So you'll notice all of these signs here. These are all Libertarian Party of Florida, Mises Caucus signs. This is Anthony Sabatini. I don't see her there. No. There's Josh here on the right side. That's Josh. There's Sabatini over there standing next to Luis Valdez, of course. But yeah, that was the event there. But yeah, Sabatini.
He didn't want to take that picture.
Oh no, he didn't want to stand next to all of our people. No,
not with the Mises Caucus banner up.
Yeah.
Oh,
because they had
because you're Nazis and stuff.
No, because we're not.
Totally.
No, it wasn't so much that. It was because they were not Republicans. That's what it was. But Anthony Sabatini has always made himself out to be like a liberty Republican or whatever. And this is one of those posts where he's trying to do this. This is back in January of 2021. Time to legalize marijuana in Florida. The Florida GOP should lead on this issue. $51 billion wasted per year nationwide on the war on drugs, one of the big epic failures in American history. Let's reduce massive government spending while restoring government to its proper role. You read this alone by itself and you're like, oh, yeah, that's pretty base. Good job, dude. Like, yeah, we should do this. This was him a few days ago. Vote hell no on Amendment 3 in Florida. If it passes, every public area will be affected by a constant breeze of marijuana smoke in your face and in your kid's face. Anyone who believes that state
I'm gonna
and
blow it
local
in his kid's face directly. I'm gonna come over there and blow it.
anyone
I'm gonna
who
blow
believes,
Kush smoke in your general direction. Fuck you, Anthony.
I haven't even listen. Anyone, this includes you, Forest Mommy, anyone who believes that state and local government can or will fix this issue lacks an understanding of what policy can do. This is the same guy.
Forest Mommy, you don't understand how policy works. You know that?
The local government has no authority.
And it's been interesting in Colorado because there's certain counties that don't allow it, certain city, and there's one city that did allow it, and they're probably going to get rid of it now. Like that is how it goes. But I would rather the local government do it all. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And did you guys call him out on that flip flop?
Oh, I'm sure somebody will. I just pulled it up to yesterday.
So or he's out now. He's not doing anything.
He got booted out, and he keeps trying to make himself relevant. Didn't he try to run for Congress or something?
Oh,
yeah.
So I'm running for state house here in Florida. Sabatini ran for state house in Florida. Sabatini got primaried and lost his primary to the Trump-endorsed candidate. Apologized on Twitter for even running there against the Trump-endorsed candidate. And now he's running for county commissioner in Lake County as a result. Because, sorry, Liberty Republicans, the state house will have to wait for another day.
Wait.
We got to let the MAGA win.
So wait a minute. This guy was in the state house, And now he wants to go on and talk about how the state has all the power and that local governments have no power, but he's going to run for a local government office.
And commissioners have so much power. That's
know-
why I'm fighting lately. Commissioners have a shit ton of power.
I'm not
This guy
saying
sucks,
Tony
dude.
is a bright man. I'm just saying that he's out there.
Politician. It's a career politician. He's trying to be a career politician or something stupid like that. Like,
Yeah.
types.
I just want to know how his wife's doing. That's all I'm wondering.
Oh no.
Is he like the loafers? Is he like a little?
I don't know.
Josh
I'm
met
just
him in
saying,
person. You tell me. I don't know.
I don't know if he's lighting the loafers. I'm just saying he's real obsessed with, a lot of things he shouldn't be worried about if he was a real man. That's all I'm saying.
Okay. Oh, here we go. This is, I believe this is him and his wife. If not, his wife's going to have some questions. But yeah. It won't let me zoom in on it. Yeah. Oh, here we go. Here, I got a better picture for you, Josh. Sorry, for mommy. Smash or pass?
Yeah, smash. He's shooting, he's shot above his pay grade.
How tall is he? How tall is he? That's.
Oh my God! You're one of those. You're a height supremacist.
I'm not one of those. That just has to add it.
He's 5'10", 5'11". He's a little taller than me, but not much. We're about the same height.
No, that's so funny that he's playing politics like that with you, like you guys. It's so different in Colorado because we're fighting for our fucking lives out here against the commies and the progressives, and there's the Republicans have been pushed out, and they're like, we all need to work together right now.
For us, mommy, we got Cubans, we got Venezuelans, we got Colombians. The communists are never going to come to Florida. Those motherfuckers will literally rip their fucking Colombian neckties for days out here.
As long as people are paying attention to their local shit, because they just sneak in. They sneak the fuck in.
Oh, you come to Miami and try to sneak in on some communist shit. They will kill you. I'm not even trying to be like facetious. No, I'm like, you're laughing, Tim. I'm not even trying to be facetious.
I know. I'm not. I get it.
They
I'm
are
just
not.
saying.
They do not. They are seriously. These are people who escape communism.
They don't play.
Literally risk their lives. They will kill you over this here. They do
They're
not
conservative.
fuck around.
They want to run a business. They want to own small businesses and shit. They're
like Kamala Harris, we're not going back. Like these motherfuckers are like, we are not going back, and we will murder you over not going back. Like you think the helicopter rides were bad? Meet the Venezuelans in fucking Miami.
Right. That's what I'm saying out here. We have to get with them, the business owners, especially immigrant business owners that are legal immigrants. But you have to get with them. And we were trying to get the last lady to run, who was running against Polis, that he's laying loafers. Trying to get against him, and they wouldn't go. And I'm like, you have to get these people to support you, and they're small business. They want less regulation. These are the people we need.
All I'm saying is Sabatini has some wide set prey looking eyes. That's all I'm saying.
He's a little weird looking in the face. I mean, still, it wouldn't be a proud moment.
What are you about to hit me with, Tim?
I thought I had the other screen up. I'm sorry. But yeah, I was getting this ready for a transition later on. But yeah, no, this is DeSantis talking about it. A lot of liberty Republicans, let's call them, they really like DeSantis. But this is what he had to say about this amendment.
I'm not for it. I don't think it's good to do. I don't think we need to mess up the state.
Speaking before Florida delegates this week in Milwaukee, Governor DeSantis concerned Florida could become like other places that have legalized recreational use of marijuana.
10 years ago, Colorado did it, and they said, look, people are using it anyways. If you legalize it, you tax it, it's safer, it's above board, it'll shut down the drug trade, and it'll probably be more for public safety. And I get that, but that was tried and that failed.
That failed in Colorado. How's it going? That's what I wanted to ask you. When I've been to Denver a couple times when I was over the road, and because we had a terminal there, every time I was there, smelled like weed all the time. I didn't mind it. I thought it was funny, but every time I went to Denver, straight up weed. I had I remember this old hippie chick. She was standing outside the truck stop. So if you don't know, truckers get points for every time they get fuel, and that's how they pay for their showers. You get free points, you get a free shower, all this kind of stuff.
This points for the lot lizard, then you get a lot lizard.
Well, that's what I'm saying. This fucking damn dirty hippie in Denver. I pull up and she's standing out there, smells like straight dank, and she comes up to me and my wife and she's like, "Hey, can I get a free shower? I'm like, what? she's like, yeah. She's like, I know you got points. I need a shower.
It definitely did bring like a vagrant issue.
Right.
There was that. And then now we have like real homeless and real drug addicts and real like it's so I mean they're not completely wrong that it did bring a certain type of traveler type person, but that's not ruin the progressives who are passing the stupid policies who ruin Colorado, not them. Like that, and it's not the vagrants.
El Barfo, I just want to ask you a question because you made a really good point there. Could you imagine how big Florida's tourism economy would get when you included the weed economy in there?
It's already pretty big, but this would just be an added layer. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Like the black market down here, like being around Miami, Fort Lauderdale, like major airports, major like tourism area, the black market
and brown market.
All of it's huge. Gray market, black market, purple market, it don't matter. It's fucking wild. And like that's the thing. There's legal weed out here. Like people can get legal weed, but like, could you imagine if weed was legitimately legal? How much like billions of dollars in like revenue cannabis would produce in Florida just in the first year? Just the first year.
You're right, Magoo. It's a market of color. I'm sorry.
The black market is.
I'm the melanated one
black
here.
Black market is the real market, actually, because it's not a non-regulated market is the real market. The government should be what we call the black market, or the current market, actually. That's what I'm saying.
You're technically correct, but also fake and gay. Now, we covered all the foreign policy stuff in the beginning because that's what kind of draws people in. But really, this local shit, the state level, the county level, the city level, whatever. Like this is the stuff that actually matters. I think it's. I'm not going to say it's important to vote, but it's important to get things like this across so that we can have they can have these discussions and all this. I hope it works out. I do think that this kind of serves as like a litmus test for me. People like Sabatini and DeSantis, by coming out against this bill, have kind of shown themselves to be anti-liberty. For all the liberty people that want to defend these guys and say like, oh, no, they're actually pro-liberty. They just got to work within the system or whatever. This is such an easy thing. Like Trump said, it's going to happen whether you want it to or not. You just got to make sure it happens the way you want it to in your local community or whatever. That I think that is the direction. And I think anybody who's coming out against this right now, I'm not going to trust them moving forward. And that's kind of how I feel about it.
No, Trump had the right analogy there was, hey, look, the voters in Florida are going to make it what it is. It's going to be up to the local governments to decide where and where not it's going to be acceptable to be usable. And trust me, as somebody who is a avid advocate and user of the cannabis.
You don't say.
I don't say. But I am saying is that I can understand where people who are not cannabis users or somebody who's friendly or, where they don't want to deal with that. And I can respect that as somebody who uses it myself. I don't want
it's like smoking cigarettes in a restaurant, right? Like as much as we hate the regulation, I think even the restaurants would have went that way because it's a better experience.
And it doesn't. Local communities should be able to still choose that. The smaller, they should still be able to.
Yeah, like after we had legal recreational pot in Florida, like you had tons of municipalities around me, and I live in a heavily blue area that were like moratorium, ban, not doing that shit here, not in our backyard. And that's fine if that's what you guys want to do. Cool, I understand that. This is what your constituents want. If they don't want that, y'all are going to be out of office soon enough. Fuck y'all then.
Right.
God bless and good luck.
Amen.
Yeah. So, I said earlier, there's a lot of people that talk about this bill and they say we shouldn't support it because it's not full recreation, because it still has government licensing, because they restrict it down to 3 ounces that you can carry. All of these reasons that I say, are not perfect reasons. I think it's still a net positive overall.
We're not in Ancapistan. We're not in our utopia. Let's
is it more liberty than we had yesterday? If the answer is yes, then it's better than where we were yesterday. Fuck you. Stop living in Ancapistan in your head.
Exactly.
Okay, so follow-up question. Because I know that good lawyer, I'm not a lawyer, but a good lawyer asks a question that they know the answer to. I knew you were going to say that.
you play a lawyer on TV?
No, but I teased Rob
We
about
have
not being
one
a real
lawyer
lawyer.
on this show, and he's not here tonight. Fucking loser.
Yeah.
Loser.
But, I asked a question. I know the answer that you were going to give. Thank you for giving it. Follow-up question. Would you have more or less liberty with Donald Trump versus Joe Biden? And could you make the same argument for voting for him? You stumped.
Yeah, because COVID, that's my big thing.
It's big, yeah.
That's a huge thing for me.
I'm
Do you think it's
sorry.
an incremental step towards
Yeah, I
moving?
mean, obviously, I think we would.
Yeah.
I think Trump's all part of it too, but for the maybe to slow it down, maybe. But I think in the end, it's the same.
Take the guns first, due process second. Take the guns first, due process second.
He did say
He
that. Yep.
kept employing Fauci. He warp speeded the fuck. He warp speeded the fucking vaccine that the fucking Biden administration forced upon all of you. You want
6.6
this guy to be your
trillion.
president? You're retarded. Not partially retarded, fully
He
autistically
was just
retarded.
tricked. He was just tricked though, and he won't ever be tricked again. That's what they say.
He advocated for lockdowns.
Okay, you guys are listen. You're making a good point.
Fauci.
You're making a good point.
He didn't fire
but
Fauci.
the argument.
No, that's not the question. That's not the
exactly.
question.
The argument is he's not perfect, but he's better than Harris.
No, Harris gets me closer to where I want because that gets me closer to societal collapse.
That's not what I thought you were going to say. I thought you were going to say.
Harris gets me closer to societal collapse.
I thought you were going to say. I thought you were going to say that Harris doesn't get you where, or Trump doesn't get you where you wanted to be. Harris gets you closer to an erection, so you're therefore for Harris. That's what you're
no. I would actually have more of an erection for Donald Trump.
Oh, no. She's going to spit her drink out.
Have you seen that woman? I would take that toupee all day over that. She could be in the Slap Chop remix.
There you go. Yeah. Yeah. Well, I wanted to ask that question because, while we have you here for us, Mommy, you're very involved locally. And that's what we want to promote. You have a local person, in the Liberty space who's causing a big stink around. I won't ask you to take any position one way or the other about her. But the issue that she raised, putting Chase Oliver on the ballot, where are you at there? I want to know where you stand there, but also I want to know, being involved locally in Colorado, from the outside looking in, it looks like most people were in favor of Colorado not putting Chase Oliver on the ballot. Is that your perception there as well? Like, what is your take on the RFK thing, all of that stuff that's happening in Colorado that we kind of see from the outside?
So the whole strategy was, since we're all involved in these coalitions and we're all involved locally, we know there's a ton of moderate Dems who have left, and we are a blue state. And so it would have been cool if we could have hit the Dems a little bit under the LP name with him. That's all. It wasn't. That's all. And I go to a ton of the affiliate meetings. I know a ton of people. I'm out all the time. I invite people out. I do a lot of stuff. Even the people who did disagree with it didn't take it to that level. What's going on?
Right.
I'm blocked. I ignore it. I'm ignoring it now because I'm actually fighting
she blocked you?
the real government. So that's where my time is, and that's the difference between a party person and someone who actually really does.
She blocked you?
Oh yeah, it's fine. It kind of gives me PTSD because I don't know if you watched the live stream in person, that her thing, because I go to that county affiliate because my forest house is down there, and it's just weird how everything just happened so weird, and it got ramped up so weird, and it's just weird.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's a lot of weird stuff around it, and I'm not all about that, and so. And there's just other. It was. I think somebody's not well. I think somebody is not well. And
are you okay? So are you going to vote for Chase Oliver? Where are you at on that?
I don't know because if RFK, I think RFK is still going to be on my ballot as independent. I'm not sure. I just want to hurt the Democrats. I don't care about national right now. I want to hurt the Democrats in Colorado. That's what I want to do.
Yeah, because he's going to stay on. His plan is to stay on ballot strategically, right? And so he wants to. Right. And Colorado, I don't think Colorado's a swing state, but I think he's trying to stay on the ballot there.
Yeah, I think because we all work together out here. Like I said, we're saving ourselves from like literal commies. They're in our state house doing this. You know what I mean? And like,
right.
Like we all have to work together right now, and there's a lot of people who understand that. And like, I just strategically, normally I would vote for the LP person no matter what, just to help the national percentage. But right now with Colorado, I will probably vote for RFK out here. So
yeah.
And it's not. I don't believe
over Chase.
I don't believe in voting or anything, anyways. And so the thing is, a lot of the moderate Dems out here have left the Democrat Party because of the transy kid issue and like how government. And then they all pop up and say medical freedom, blah blah. And I'm like, listen, we are in this system now. Abuse isn't allowed, and this is abuse to a lot of us. And it's not like the government interfering or anything. It's just like not allowing this stuff to happen, right? You're not allowed to give toddlers breast implants. There are things that are not allowed. So that's like from our strategic point. There's a lot of moderate. It just would have been cool if it was under the LP name, you know.
Yeah. And now it's not. And then he pulled out. So
now somebody's even though the government exists. A woman with 4 kids and a dying husband is the bigger enemy than the government to this crazy person, and that's not right. That's what's going on. But I'm out of it. I'm doing my work. Did you guys see my news clip, by the way? Did you see my news clip today?
No, did you send me a link? I'll put it up on the show. Yeah.
I was in the news. No big deal. No big deal.
No, we'll promote it. Yeah, sure. No, I think that's. I said on the show, I think it was on the last show that we did with Toad, and I said, I'm not going to vote for Chase because I don't want to send a message to the Libertarian Party that he's a good messenger or he's somebody that represents me and my ideas well. I want somebody who's going to do that better, and so I won't vote for him for that reason. Like you said, though, I don't
mess stuff up supporting out here at least.
I'm the only one on this show who will probably be voting for Chase when we go.
That's not true. That's not true. I think Rob will do it as well. I think Mitch is going to say that he's going to vote and then not vote because that's what he does. But I think Rob will vote for Chase. I do think that.
Hold on, I'm trying to see where.
Why are you going to, while she tries to find that, why are you going to vote for Chase?
Why wouldn't I vote for Chase?
Well, do you think that he's a good messenger for the party? That's why I'm voting. That's why I'm not voting for him.
Kamala Harris has the IQ of fucking pond scum. Donald Trump was the fucking president of take the guns first and due process second and warp speed that fucking vaccine that I know the Dems are going to fucking force feed up your ass. So yeah, if you want to know why I'm not voting for Donald Trump or Kamala Harris, if you need any explanation after that and why I'm voting for Chase Oliver, I don't understand. You need a fucking lobotomy.
It's in your Twitter DMs, FYI.
Thank you. Yeah.
I get you. I totally get. I totally get it. Like I said, I would normally, since I became a libertarian, I feel like just to get the percentage up every time, you should do it, right? But Colorado is like we are fight. I don't know if you know, Brandon Herrera came out to Colorado to testify on a bill out here in Colorado, which none of the LP influencers ever like. Well, Spike does in where he's at and stuff, but very few of them actually do this stuff, right? But Brandon Herrera came to Colorado to testify against anti-gun bills, and like. One of his videos, they were like, why did you go to Colorado? And he's like, we have to learn how to fight them where they are. Like we have to learn how to fight them. So that's what we're trying to do out here. We're trying to figure it out. Will it work? I don't know.
Yeah. Spike Cohen and You Are the Power has much more influence than we do. We just talk shit on the internet with our friends.
Well, you're running for op. Like, that's so cute.
Well,
that's
Josh is.
People,
yeah.
That's how you find people. People find you and they find libertarianism. Like, that's what it is, you know?
Yeah, the people that actually campaign are the messengers of the party, and those are the beacons that bring more people in. I just think Chase is a bad one. I want to see you being a good beacon for liberty, though, so here we go.
We're the only station committed to covering Colorado first. Cities and counties across the metro area are going to voters and asking them to remove revenue limits set in place by the Taxpayer Bill of Rights. In Jefferson County, the fight to save Tabor is gaining momentum as well. Karen Morfitt is your reporter in Jefferson County. She was there as one group launched their own campaign.
I think these are like the third use of them. Jeffco resident Jessica Fensky says these yard signs are literally sending the same message they did in 2019 and again in 2022.
Why are you guys painting on the signs?
We have to change the letter of the actual one. Sometimes it was HH, like the different ballot initiative. So we're like trying to
So
keep
did you guys just like print up signs and you just erase the paint
Yeah,
and do
for
it
a year,
again?
like she said, in 2019 they've made a bunch, so we're
Yeah.
reusing them. You know.
Okay. Yeah, you're fiscally
We have
conservative.
to
Look at
change
you.
the like ballot initiative.
The same
Yeah.
message they did in 2019 and again in
Free State Colorado,
2022
Brandon
to
worked there.
protect tax caps put in place by the Taxpayer Bill of Rights, also known as TABOR.
It's the same fight every time. There's not even a left or right fight going on. It's just the people against trying to keep some of their money.
Jefferson County commissioners approved a November ballot question to let voters decide if the county
And there's
can
so much
retain
corruption
additional
behind this
revenue
too.
to
Like
address.
it's so gross. There's so much grossness behind this. Like a U.S. rep's husband got the county contract, taxpayer funded contract to help write this ballot initiative. It's just like, it's so fucked up. They just want our money. Tabor helps Colorado. It's kept Colorado at least a little safe because it said you have to vote on tax increases. But they hate it. They're like, it handcuffs us in the legislature. And it's like, yeah, that's the fucking point.
Exactly. Yeah. That's why we voted for it, dumbass. Yeah.
To let voters decide if the county can retain additional revenue to address budget shortfalls and a growing backlog in infrastructure needs. A decision
That's
they
their
say
fault.
was
They
made
didn't
after
spend the money wisely. It's always their fault when we all pay these fees and taxes all along the way, and then they're like, oh, we need more. Like that's all it is.
Yeah, of course.
Extensive community outreach and research, and one commissioner, Andy Kerr, says reflects the spirit of Tabor.
The only way for the citizens of Jeffco to officially weigh in on these many demands is by having this conversation.
Natalie Menton organized the
This is my
sign
girl.
remaking
This is Natalie. This
party
is my
and
girl.
is
She
a
keeps me
long-standing advocate for Tabor.
So they're very driven to do it. Why? I don't know, because Tabor allows reasonable growth with governments. It allows the inflation rate plus local growth. I mean, we don't have money just growing in the backyard.
She plans to once again lead the No on 1A fight that she believes is now gaining support.
I think this is going to be even bigger this time. We have so much to lose.
In Jefferson County, Karen Morfitt covering Colorado First.
Menton says.
And she's running for commissioner, Natalie. And the first time I met Natalie, she's been involved for so long, I was like, I would never run for anything ever. And then I ended up.
That's how they all start. That's how they all start. It's a running joke in the Libertarian Party. Just show up to a few meetings and you'll be chair. That's it.
Yeah, all these people have all these ideas online. I'm like, just show up. There's nobody showing. Your ideas will be heard, and you can
You know, funny story about that.
Yeah. Did you know Josh is the chair of LP Florida? All he did was show up to a few key meetings, and there he is.
There we go. It's all you gotta do.
Are you chair right now still?
Yes.
Yeah. They've done they can do. They can't remove me. They try and they can't do shit.
Oh, do you guys have drama? You guys have drama down there?
What? We don't got drama.
Nah, libertarians.
Ain't no drama.
Libertarians? Come on.
No drama. Ain't no drama in Florida. We don't have drama here.
It is less.
We just don't like money. We're not capitalists in Florida. Is the problem. We don't like money.
He's trying to start a fight with the chat.
Yeah, we're talking about bring in the money, RFK. We need money. We need money, and the RFK stuff could bring us money.
Don't say that, Forrest, Mommy. They're gonna hear you, and I'm gonna get in trouble.
Well, Josh, you don't have to worry about that. As we discovered on last week's episode, political parties are private institutions that don't have to follow their own rules. So it doesn't matter.
Fuck y'all! I ain't following no more of your rules. I'm doing whatever the fuck I want until
we
May.
might just get rid of all, if we can, for our next convention, just get rid of all the bylaws. All our county affiliates have started getting rid of bylaws and stuff.
I wish somebody would bring back I don't know if you want to call it this, but the Nolan Amendment, just bring back the simple rules of the party. Do you guys know what I'm talking about?
I know what the Nolan.
I'm calling it the Nolan Amendment. I don't know what to call it.
When I get different people to show up, we don't have where you have to have a business meeting each time. You got to just use. We should use this to get people to show up to our meetings. That's all come drink beers. We just show up at bars for
yes.
You know what I mean? I don't care if you're LP or not. If you want to fight for liberty, and then you get random, especially my Twitter following. I get so many random people that show up. A guy from New York showed up at a meeting one time. He's like, "Yeah, I'm just in town. I wanted to come. I saw you post." He's super cool. He's has to be behind the veil in New York with all those freaking libs up there and shit. So It's just
Yeah.
cool. Like what you can use. It's a good for me. I'm my own coalition. I'm not gonna live or die by the party. I'll support the party because I believe in it to some extent, right? But like I'm a coalition, and the more people you can bring in that will actually, because parties don't do things, the people in the parties do things. You need the people to do the stuff. So I will take any people who
Right.
will do anything, like just to do something.
Right. Yeah, and that's what's good. Like that's what I liked about the Mises Caucus. That's what I liked about the Libertarian Party generally. There were a lot of people, years and years ago when this whole thing started, that they were criticizing the Libertarian Party for being a social club and saying that it doesn't really try to fight for liberty. It's just a big social club. Well, there's an aspect of that that needs to be true. Like it needs to be a cool place to go hang out with your friends and to create fellowship, brotherhood, whatever you want to call it, fraternity, just having people, community, people around so that when the shit does hit the fan, that we have somebody to lean on, somebody we trust, someone to rely on. And I think all of that's positive.
Somebody who
A
will
lot of,
fight with you.
Yeah.
yeah, listen, Josh and I fight all the fucking time, and it's fun. We have fun doing it. Doesn't matter.
I can't wait to the next Florida convention. We got to fight for real this time.
Do you know where it's going to be
great.
at? Because last time I was in Jacksonville, right?
It's Daytona, right?
Daytona, yeah.
My brother just
We're doing it in May. Isn't that like during? Aren't we doing it close to Bike Week?
When is Bike Week?
Hey Siri, when is Bike Week in Daytona Beach?
My brother moved to the Florida-Georgia line, and he's not libertarian, but he's kind of setting up a homestead.
Early March.
So funny.
Okay, so we're
March.
missing Bike Week.
Yeah.
But it's still Daytona in May.
Yeah, it'll be fun. There'll be plenty of bikes around. I might drive my bike down there. Why not?
Just white trash, and it would be accepted. It'd be fine.
There you go. I mean, it's going to be a pretty.
I once the race one time in my life, and just be like so white trash, and just like.
I went to one NASCAR race, and it was the one Dale Earnhardt died in.
Of course, you went to that one.
It was the one that I went to. Listen, I was there. And like we left early, I was with my stepdad, and he was like, "We got to go. We got to get out of here. Like we got to beat traffic." He was one of those guys. Like, the race is almost over. Let's get out of here. Yeah. And so we did that. And then on the ride home, he's listening to the rest of the race on the radio, and he's like, "Oh yeah, Dale Earnhardt died." And then like a couple weeks later, we went out to his funeral. They had like some public funeral on Gandy Bridge out there. And they just like put up the cranes and had the big flags flying and all that stuff. Yeah, big redneck white trash bullshit. Welcome to Florida.
Shout out Dale Earnhardt. Professional drivers can still die. FYI, people.
Yeah, they died doing what they loved. I hope I die that way. I don't want to die. I don't want to die sick in a bed somewhere. I want to. I'm gonna flake on this pact because I have children now. But me and one of my friends from high school made a pact when we were younger that the way we were gonna die is when we turned 50, we were gonna parachute into a tornado or a hurricane.
That'd be cool.
I was like, that's a fucking hell of a way to go right there. But I don't want to die sick in some bed somewhere. I watched my grandfather die like that. It's fucking awful.
You see, I used to work in elder care, and like it's like I don't want I'd be fine dying young. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I don't have kids, so I have a different life. But it's like
right. Yeah.
You see that toiling, and it's just like, oh, and then your kids, if you have kids, they'll have to see you like in pain for years and years sometimes with dementia or whatever, Alzheimer's. Like it's just.
Yeah, nobody wants to deal with that shit. Once my kids are like 20, 21 and they're able to take care of themselves, just fucking off me. Like
I feel you.
What's that?
You can go longer than that.
I don't know. We'll see
how old are you?
35. Yeah.
How
34.
old are your kids?
Yeah. 5 and 3.
Yeah.
So I'll be like 50. I'll be right there, parachuting into a hurricane, like I promised.
Right into the hurricane.
Now, I'm 40. It's like everyone's healthier nowadays.
Okay, so 15 years from now, do you still want to be alive?
We'll see what happens.
Maybe if you look like Selma Hayek, right?
I don't know.
I wanna die in my forest in a sniper's nest. Like I'm taking out a bunch of the commies as like being a Wolverine.
that might come sooner than you want. So Tim killed Dale. I didn't kill Dale. That wasn't me. I was a boy.
That's so
I was just a boy. I don't know. I read chat and I pick out the random shit. Forest Mommy, where can people find you? Where can they follow? Thanks for joining us.
At Forest Mommy on Twitter, and follow me on Rumble too. I don't stream to YouTube. I haven't streamed in a while in general, but I need to get back into my Rumble streaming. And just Forest Mommy on there. But Twitter, find me on there.
Yeah.
Follow me. I'm crazy. We go all over everything.
That's right. There we go. Yeah, definitely follow Forest Mommy. Like I said, genuinely one of the better accounts on Twitter, one of the ones that I check frequently. I may or may not poach memes from you from time to time. It doesn't matter. Memes are public property, and they are meant to be poached.
If my nudes ever get posted, it was my own freaking fault.
We will find them. They will be discovered.
I didn't even delete them when I was running for office because I'm like, if someone wants to find it, whatever, it's fine.
Wait a second. Okay, so Joey was telling me, I didn't know this about you. What did he say that we should call the stream?
Sparklers? About sparklers?
Yes.
Did you know about that?
I did not know about that. So, yeah. So Joey said that we should have named the episode the Swampcast Sparkler Special, and I said I have no idea what this is a reference to. He says that you posted a video. He said you posted is it a video or a picture of you with a sparkler? Just a video.
It's a long big sparkler with like a wood thing, and I was
actually in your ass.
Yeah.
Where else did you
Where is this video? I said, listen, if I can raise $1,000, I will post a video because I was trying to go.
Oh my God!
I never beg for money, and I was trying to go visit my podcasting people because we never met in person. I said, listen, if you guys give me $1,000, I will stick a sparkler up my ass and sing "America the Beautiful." And I got $2,000.
Oh shit!
So America the Beautiful was so.
It was on my other account. I did it. I donated a bunch of the money, and I donated.
Is the other account still active?
Yeah, it's like the Forest Daddy or something right now. But I got all my accounts back. Once Elon came back, I got all my accounts back. So, but I only use Forest Mommy. I'm blocked by everybody I care about, anyways, on all my accounts.
It says this post is unavailable. Hold on. I was trying to find it. Where's the video?
No, I took the video. The video's not up. But there's people post. I'll see random screenshots of it, like totally random. Someone is that a banner? I was like, oh Jesus.
That should have been our cold open. The next time you're on the show, you got to send me the video, and we will open with that.
It's on the side too, so I mean, like it's
also it's great.
Everyone's like, and I'm like, my man filmed it. Like people are like, oh my God, all the trad people are like, how could you? I'm like, my dude.
I was going into detective mode. I was trying to find that shit. I was gonna hunt it down for the swamp.
Oh no, I took it down after like a little bit.
We'll find it. The internet never forgets. Archive.org.
It's out there, so. I think I posted it again, but I like censored part of it, so that might be on Forest Mommy's.
It's going to be, you know what you should do is you should create an OnlyFans account and that be the only video. If you want to see it, you got to pay her.
Every time someone mentions it, I'm
this
like,
woman for her ass sparkles.
That's right. That's right. Anyway,
so it's an inside joke. It's like an inside joke with Liberty Twitter. You know, it's just kind of like fun.
I wasn't in on it. I'm not connected.
Yeah.
Nobody likes you, Tim. It's okay.
That's fine.
2022. It was July 4th, 2022.
Oh, you're giving me more data. I'm going to find this shit. Josh, you want to promote some stuff while you're stealing the show?
Yeah, well, my dog is like encroaching upon me with this big pimple head. JoshuaHolofka.com. Come donate so I can feed my dog over here. LPF.org. Come donate so eventually I can get paid to be chair to feed my dog over here.
That's right.
Is the election in November for you?
Yep, the election in November. Come vote for Joshua Holofka. If you can't vote for me, joshuaholofka.com/donate. Come donate to my campaign and help me feed my dog.
That's it.
Y'all
That's
want
right.
to feed this big pit bull.
There you go.
Say hi, baby.
Yeah, make sure you tune in next week. We're going to have Jake Green of Peaceful Seed Productions. That was one of the streams that I found during the LNC stuff. Jake seems like a cool guy. I think you guys are really going to enjoy that show. Be sure to follow Forest Mommy, of course. September 10th, we are having a debate night drink along. You're welcome to join us if you want to. That's going to be great. We're going to watch Kamala Harris and Donald Trump debate, and we're going to create a drinking game and do the whole thing like we usually do. September 29th, there's Rescue the Republic with RFK, Tulsi Gabbard, and a whole bunch of people. Brett Weinstein, Jimmy Dore, Russell Brand, Robert Malone. All these cool people are going to be doing a thing. We might do a drink along for that. And then November 5th, of course, we're going to have the election night drink along. We're going to, if Josh doesn't win his election, he's going to eat a Pocky chip, right? No.
Sure, why not?
Oh, he said yes. Remember it.
Not?
Mark it down. Oh, fuck. We got to find a chip now. Anyway, that's what's going on. Make sure you join the Discord. Links are in the description below. Be sure to follow Forest Mommy, and we will see you next Tuesday. Bye.